and welcome to another Franchise Hockey Manager stream. My name is Adam. I'm the community manager of Franchise Hockey. With me, as always, and digitally somewhat pictured on your screen, is FHM producer Jeff. Say hi, Jeff.
Hey, everybody.
And we are back with... Oh, man, I forget what the title is. Rewriting History, Montreal Canadiens 1922-23 season, back on top, part 13. Jeff, you won the Stanley Cup 2 years ago. You blew it last year. This year,
Didn't really blew it last year. Ottawa just sort of came back from what was a really bad off season the year before and took it away. Took it away from us. But it seems like they're going backwards again this year. So we are, like Adam said, we're back on top, 9-4 to start the season. Hamilton, which has put together kind of an interesting team. They've got King Clancy and Frank Boucher, neither of whom they had in real life, and Clint Benedict as well in goal. Although he is out a couple of weeks with an upper respiratory infection, so that's going to hurt them a bit. So Hamilton is gradually putting together a pretty good team that will eventually move to New York and become the Americans. Ottawa...
we played as many years ago.
Yeah, briefly. Ottawa also still in pretty good shape. Their goaltending looks like it's transitioning. Hugh Lehman, who had been the goalie for most of their good years, is about to get pushed out of his job by Tiny Thompson, a future Hall of Famer. And Toronto is still struggling, although they do have the leading scorer in the league in Howie Moran's. And the top goalie in George Hainsworth, which is a bit of a problem because the real Montreal Canadiens at this point in history, and they've also got Sylvia Mathis, so they've got a big chunk of the guys who made the Canadiens a good team in the 1920s. So we're going to have to work around that somehow. Although we've done a pretty good job of that. We picked up a few different guys, Nell Stewart, who would be mainly a Montreal Maroon in real life. Got Joe Malone still kicking around, although he is headed downhill rapidly. And his scoring has really dropped off this season, although not quite as badly as it did in real life. He fell completely apart this year. There's the real life stats. This year was his... He came to Montreal from after being in Hamilton for a couple of years, dropped from 31 points to 1 point, and then no points at all in his last season. So we may be nearing the end of the road with him. Fortunately, we got a few replacements. We got the two Boucher brothers, Frank's two brothers. We tried to add Frank from Hamilton, but the asking price is just too high. And speaking of trading right now, we are at the trading deadline. Problem is, the only thing I can really see doing is maybe adding one more skater for one of our goalies, because we've got some depth there. The problem with the goalies right now is there's only 4 teams in the league. They've all got pretty good goaltending. So nobody's really looking to make a deal like that. I mentioned the Ottawa situation, Gold, Thompson, and Lehman, and they're probably not going to want to make a change there. Hainsworth, Toronto's obviously set with him. And Hamilton, which Clint Benedict is only out for a few games. They could probably maybe want a better backup, but they're not going to trade a significant player for them. So our best assets, trading assets, aren't really that useful right now. I think the better play for this might be to wait another even 2-3 seasons, because the league is about to expand by a significant amount. Next year is another 4-team league. But then by 26-27, they'll be up to 10 teams. So there's going to be a lot of teams looking for goaltending. I think we might try the old Sam Pollock move of trading some of our established players away for the new team's young, upcoming superstars.
Makes sense to me.
And that'll set us up for at least going well into the 30s. But talked enough long enough now, so let's just get rolling on this. Do I need to make any changes with the lines? Probably sit, I guess.
So there is one
Seabrook
kind of
for
interesting
Johnson.
guy in the trade block, but he doesn't fit our criteria.
Yeah, I should mention that George Hay, we should mention that we're trying to stick to something approaching the actual Canadiens rosters at the time. So basically, we're only allowed to take players who are born in Quebec, played for the Canadiens in real life, and if there's still nobody available when, like in a draft, and we're getting into the later rounds, we'll stretch out to include players maybe from the Maritimes or from other Montreal teams. but Hay is, yeah, listable.
So, Jeff, at this point, I'm going to say yes. Steam is still not working for us. So.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. And George Hay doesn't really have any actual history with the Montreal team, so we can't take him. So, yeah, I'm just going to have to go through the trading deadline and we'll get into today's game against Toronto here. And 4-1 win, not that surprising. Toronto's struggling. And we'll just keep rolling towards the playoffs. Dukeet's one of our better players, about to come back, but I'm not going to rush him. Everybody's 100%. Good. Goalies are kind of cool, though. Let's see if we can get that improved. And 5-2 win over Ottawa. So there's nobody in this league I don't think we can beat. It's going to wind up, well, hopefully with us playing the Western team for the Cup. And another game against Ottawa. And another win against Ottawa, 4-2. So I think we're pretty definitely the best team in the league here. Let's just, whoops, looks like
It's a
Boucher's
dangerous
out
thing to
today.
say.
Yeah. Oh, and Keats can come back in. Pan was not really doing much as a replacement, so I'm going to try dressing Siebert as a forward just for this game. Whoops, now I have to. Make a wing out of him before I can do that. And, well, 5-5 tie with Hamilton on the road. Boucher, we've been trying to get a second star for them. So Hamilton looks like they might possibly give us a little bit of trouble, but everybody else, not so much. And yeah, 5-2 win over Toronto. Harry Watson, first star. And media is happy with us, so let's agree with the media. Try to keep them liking us. So check where we at for team. Yeah, team harmony is perfect now. That's great. Everybody likes each other. Job security very solid. And okay, the media doesn't like us, but I mean, it's Montreal. It's going to happen.
I thought you said they were trying to satisfy. Kim's Chill in the chat says still 2 years until Boston shows up.
Yeah, it's in 14 league next season. Then Boston will be the year after that. Then Hamilton moves to New York, and then the big expansion in 2026, 27, I think. Yeah.
Good.
So we will get to that next season. Next season is kind of an interesting one, even though it's still 4 teams. Boucher's a little hurt, but he can play. Another Ottawa game. Ooh, they beat us this time. 5-4 off for the Senators. What's that done to the standings? No, still got a big gap between us and Hamilton. Okay, Waters at least is warming up in goal. Should be able to beat Toronto. Yeah, 7-1 win. Malone is still scoring a little bit, even though I think I've got him on the third line. Yeah, he's just getting third line time now, but maybe he's not quite done. And Bert Corbeau has a little bit of a cut, but actually, no, just play it safe. Oops. We do have Siebert around as a rookie, so we will give him playing time when we can. And 4-2 win. I think I mentioned in the last show, Siebert had kind of a sad end. He came to the Canadiens late in his career. Then in 1938 or 39, he was going to be was named the coach for the upcoming season, and then wound up drowning in the offseason.
Unfortunate.
Yeah, and Hamilton again. Oh, I lost 4-1 to Hamilton. Okay, maybe we should pay a little more attention to what we're doing against them. And media is not happy with Duke Keats. It's a little excessive. No comment. See if we can gradually repair that media relationship, although I don't think the Montreal media is ever going to be happy with us. And now it's Odie Cleghorn out for a couple of weeks. I will try Lepine in his role and probably have to juggle the line a little bit. Yeah, Malone even doesn't make it onto the first line or the second line with a guy out. And 4-3 loss in overtime to Ottawa. That's no points for us. There's no single point for losing in overtime at this point. And are we at
Should be
24 games? Yeah, so this is basically a nothing game here against Toronto. We've clinched first place. Great. Who's injured? Keats day to day. Okay, so what I'm going to have to do here. Wait, swap Lepine back out for Cleghorn is injured, and then I want to put him in for Keats. And back to Siebert being a temporary winger. And we'll throw the backup goalie in for this one, just so Warders doesn't get hurt going into the playoffs. And Chabot manages a shutout, 1-0 in overtime. Nell Stewart late in the overtime period. But now we got injury. It's only Frank Finnegan, the third line winger, but it looks like he's gone for a couple of weeks. That's not great. Although Cleghorn is almost back. Although actually I'll fix that when we get into the playoffs since I can call up extra players. And we got Hamilton in the playoffs, 2-game total goal series. So don't really have a lot of room to make mistakes here. And Keats is not back yet. That's not great. Siebert.
so. It's all about scoring.
Yeah. And one of our best scorers isn't playing. So small problem.
It's an opportunity for someone else to stick it or get into it.
I'll bring up Johnny Shepard and I guess Monroe as well. Actually, no, I need another forward more than that. Yeah, we'll go with Milks, who did okay for us last year.
What a great name.
Hib Milks. Not enough people naming their kids Hib nowadays.
I think you said that exact same thing last time.
Well, I stand by it.
Chuck Carr says, let's go.
And Shepard needs a jersey. Okay. So I'm going to put Shepard in for Finnegan, but I think we'll shuffle the lines around a little bit. Don't really like that. I'm going to give Malone the second line center job for now. See how he does in the first game. And 3-1 win. Oh yeah, it looks like we outshot them pretty badly. 45-30.
Good start.
Yeah, Clint Benedict gets the first star, actually keeps them in the game. So it looks like well, they actually had some pretty good defensive games, other guys, although so did we. Corbeau did very well. Boucher. Yeah, no real weak performances there, so that's a good game one. And now we're headed to Hamilton for game two. Do we have anybody healthy? Nope. Same thing as we had in the previous one. But we won that, so let's go with the same setup again. And it's a 2-2 tie, which is good enough. So we win the 2-game total goal series 5-3.
All right.
And now we sit and wait because we're waiting for the team on the other end of the country to come back.
See what happens.
Okay, maybe we should keep the arena a little cleaner. Apparently, Billy Boucher was bitten by an animal during practice.
It was a big rat. A very big rat.
And he's day-to-day, but he can fortunately still play. So Shepard can come out and Finnegan can go in, and Keats is ready. So Lepan, who's picked up an injury of his own, apparently. Doesn't look like anything serious. Minor facial or medium facial cut. And
Well, let me think about this.
What?
Well, if it was a rat, then that means there's probably going to be the plague going everywhere.
I think we're a few hundred years too late for that.
Definitely not. Still very much a real thing.
Okay, game one of the Stanley Cup, and the Stanley Cup is being played against Victoria. I think they finished in WCHL. Okay, dominated the Western League, 23-5-2, and actually the Saskatoon gave them quite a bit of trouble in the playoffs. That's surprising because the Prairie teams weren't that good at this point. And then Regina took a game off of them in the best-of-5 final. So goaltending is okay-ish. Hap Holmes, I think, was... Yeah, he was the Wanderers goalie through their whole NHA time, and then headed west after they went out of business. Corb Denny, the brother of Cy Denny, Ottawa's probably the best player. Punch Broadbent was one of the best players of the time. And Bill Cook, future, well, in real life, future Rangers great. But okay, so they've got an awesome forward lineup, but the blue line is just terrible. Dave Ritchie, who, didn't we have him at one point? No, Wanderers did.
Sorry, Kim is chilling. Just says a raccoon got on the field during an MLS game today, so I consider this realistic.
There we go. And Lloyd Cook. So they've got two defensemen, and whatever's after that is not impressive for them. So let's get this first game in, and that is the proper lineup. Yeah. And 5-3 loss. That's embarrassing, although it's, a wide open game. 47 shots for us, 44 for them. So it looks like Holmes outplayed Warders a little bit. Bad game for Moose Johnson defensively. Joe Malone on the fourth line, not playing well. And this is best of 3, so we're going to have to bounce back here. So game 2 in Victoria. We need to win this. Do we make any changes? I'm going to swap Shepard out for Finnegan. Or Finnegan out for Shepard, rather. Put Malone in the middle for the second line, but yeah, I think that we'll stick with that. And do we stay alive? Yeah, 3-0 win over Victoria in game 2. So Warders bounces back. Series is tied. And we'll go with the final, the same lineup for the final game. And 5-2 win. And we got the Stanley Cup. After nearly dropping it to the Western team for the first time.
You don't want to be that team.
And we'll agree with the media praising Keats because, hey, we got the cup. And Joe Malone apparently injured in the last game. I just want to take a quick look at our stats for the season. Not that high scoring, although we're getting into the lower scoring area, if I remember right here. Although pretty balanced on the roster. Got really good depth. And the playoff stats, this will only be for the two-game Hamilton series. Yeah. How did the goalies do? Chabot, just one game and shutout. And actually, yeah, nice season for Warders in goal. Although, again, that's helped by the declining scoring totals. Have we forgotten to sign any upcoming free agents? Might as well bring Hart back. He's technically got a little bit of potential. And he's dirt cheap, so that's just insurance. And Eddie Girardi's 33 and 1 star. We'll let him walk.
Seems very reasonable to me.
And an off-ice incident with Raul Julia, but doesn't look like, yeah, nobody in the team was upset by it, so we won't worry about it. And just rolling around to the start of the new season. Re-sign a few staff.
Whoa, missed the draft?
That's what I mean. I mean, like the start of the new season, meaning July 1st.
Okay, well, you're scaring me there, Jeff.
We're going to be drafting last anyhow, so I don't know what we're going to be getting. And now it's Billy Boucher, and his teammates, including his own brother, are unhappy with him. His own brother is the captain of the team, so he can't do anything about that. Slightly improved the situation, but that's going to have to go down on its own. And the season score. 467. That's, I think, one of the better ones we've had.
I think probably pretty close.
Yep, the coaching ratings are coming up nicely. Let's bump tactics a little bit. And anybody interesting as free agents? McMahon doesn't look like we can sign, so we'll leave that and go on to July 1st. And we'll just do the season switch over here. And no retirement. Actually, looks like we lost our trainers, so we're going to have to find, or did we have more than one? We did not have more than one. We need to find a new trainer.
That shouldn't be too hard.
And the physio skill is one we want here. Various guys. Sebastian Julien, good French Canadian name. We'll go with him. And that's the staff taken care of. See, pretty much no historical changes here. PCHA is going to six-man hockey in this season, so that will be the end of the Rover But other than that, not too much. Owner is still happy. Amateur draft. Well, we may get one good player out of it. And we'll be drafting fourth. I think we've got all of our picks. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Do we? Oh, that's weird.
And Larry Ori goes to Toronto. Real life, his number's not a Hall of Famer, but the Wings have retired his number. He was 6, if I remember right. Gotzelig, the apparent number 1, goes to goes at 2 to Ottawa. Marty Berry probably going 3rd to Hamilton. Yep. That's another good player for them. Now, Cy Wentworth, I think he played for the Maroons. Oh, he did play for the Canadiens at the end of his career, so he may be able to take the best player available here. From Grimsby, Ontario, but a Canadian in real life. Oh, but the other alternative here, Johnny Gagnon from Chicoutimi, who is definitely a Canadian.
Man, he was only 5'5". Ooh.
Yep. So I think we've got a pretty good, fairly young team. I mean, Cleghorn's getting older, but Seabird is going to be good for a long time. Boucher. And we've got Dunk Monroe's also signed. And I know with Malone headed downhill, I think I'm going to go with Gagnon. Be nice if Wentworth is still around for the next pick, but I'm not counting on it. Nope, he immediately goes to Toronto. And Armand Mondu, who would have liked to have, goes to Ottawa, Butch Keeling to Hamilton, and let's see. What have we got at this point? Hap Ems, future coach, but never a Canadian? No, never a Canadian. Rosie Couture. Briefly a Canadian, so I think even though we've already taken a right wing, he's the only 2-star guy left, so we will take him. And now we're getting near the bottom end of the drafting pool.
Sorry, that guy met our...
Yep, he played for Montreal in real life.
Okay. Just want to make sure.
I'm looking for any familiar names or... Okay, there's Cormier, Canadian name. Gaudreau, another one. I think... Don't really need a goalie. Would have liked to find a defenseman there. Miles Lane's American, so no. Marty Burke, Toronto, and... Oh, he did play for the Canadiens, so yeah, I'm going to take him as a defenseman. So Marty Burke on the grounds that he was an actual Canadian. And finally, 4th round, I see Gaudreau there, so I'll just go with him. Now, contract-wise, we can have 25 players signed. Kind of wasting a spot on Lacroix, the 4th-string goalie there. Definitely want to get Gagnon signed. Nick Wozni, we drafted last year. That's one option. Burke is only in... yeah, it's Wozni or Couture. I think I'll go with Wozni. Oh, did he sign? Who's he contracted to? Vancouver signed him. So I can't do anything about... Oh, geez, Couture. Couture signed by Calgary. Whoops. So the Western teams are grabbing all of our...
guys who didn't sign?
Young guys, yeah. Gonna have to go with Gaudreau. Oh, yeah, I forgot to look at it on July 1st. Screwed up. Free agent center. And no, it's pretty much the guys who were left over. Were there any interesting signings? Doesn't look like it. Just the draft picks, really. I was hoping maybe a Western guy might have come loose, but no such luck. And I'll advance it a little further. Oh, gotta look at the harmony thing. See, the conflicts are starting to go away on their own. That intervention didn't do anything. And give numbers to the new guys. And it'll be still a little bit wait for the start of the regular season, because remember, in this era they started much later. I think this might still be a December start. Yep.
Yeah. Well,
First preseason game, December 7th. Pearl Harbor Day, 18 years from now. And I will, at this point, though, set up the lines and everything for the upcoming season. Gagnon is not going to be ready, so he can start in the minors. Same with Gaudreau. And that's 18 players. I'm going to have to send one more down. Looks like it's going to be Finnegan, who actually spent most of the season with us last year, because Milks. No, then again, Milks is only 1.5 star potential, so we'll leave Finnegan up. And just going to do a quick scan through the player roles to make sure they're still appropriate. What I'm looking for here is checking the current role and making sure there's nothing that's significantly better than it right now on the other list, just because players change over time. Secret Spitter's a 2A defenseman. Their ratings change, so they made their best role may switch around a little bit. So it's good to have a look through that at the beginning of the season. Corbeau can go to shutdown defenseman. He's apparently a little better at that now. Boucher's still fine. Malone. Nope, he's apparently still good enough to hang on. Joliat. I'm not making Joliat a power forward when he's, well, it says he's 5'7". He was actually, I think, significantly shorter than that. Shepard, let's make him more of a two-way guy, because he's gonna, if he gets in, it's gonna be on the fourth line. Keats, Lepin, and also a two-way guy.
choices, huh?
Yeah. Now we'll keep Stewart as a screener. He'll be in front of the net. Leghorn's, wow, really declining. Billy Boucher can stay where he is, and Frank Finnegan is going to be better as a two-way forward. I think playing a little more defensively this year. And now that I've got that set, see what the AI wants to do with the lines. Oops. Helps if I dress enough players. 1, 2, 3. I was missing a defenseman. Oh, did Johnson retire in the offseason? Ah, yeah, Moose Johnson, so he did.
Well, that hurts.
Yeah, we got him when the Wanderers went out of business, and he'd been pretty solid for a few years, although he was 37 at this point. Then we want to get Seabird in the lineup, so, and we've still got a fairly good spare defenseman in McCaffrey, so we're fine. And yeah, that's right where we left off. Maybe put Malone in the middle, but other than that, I think Stewart has kind of pushed Keats out of that first line center role, although they'll still be playing fairly similar amounts of minutes. just because there's only 3 lines to begin with. Well, 2 and 2/3 of a line. And tactics, just going to take a very quick look through this to see if there's anything that's got a bunch of bad or terrible fits. Nothing wildly out of line, although let's see if there's anything better for the neutral zone coverage. The trap's technically better, but I don't want to do that. Defensive coverage, yeah, it looks like man-on-man is the best of a bad lot. So the tactical fit isn't that great for us this year, but I'm going to have to make do with it. And quick look through training. Remember, I want to keep that number in parentheses above 10. I'll just keep swapping goalies back and forth. I think I've done that the last few seasons. Malone, no point in trying to prop him up anymore. He's down to the 3rd line, and it will probably be over for him soon. Sievert, though, we want to get going. And Finnegan appears to need some help, too. It's down to 8 there. Keats is 28. I can cut him off of some of this. He's in his prime. He doesn't really need help either way. Okay, oh no, one more for mental training. Yeah, let's give Shepard a little help. And now we wait for the start of the regular season, which is still a couple of months off. And this is an Olympic year as well. So we will see that tournament happening, although I think that, I can't remember, was the Olympics one of those ones that was still held in the summer at this point? No, I think hockey was, they had Winter Olympics by 1924, didn't they?
Yes, but I think it was still in the summer. I think it was in the summer through the 30s, or almost through the 30s. Or into the 30s.
Minor off-ice incident with Lepin, who's in Quagor has banned him, so I'll keep working on those. It's going away on its own now. Speaking of Olympics, one of the guys I haven't mentioned a lot about that we've got here is Harry Watson. There is a guy named Harry Watson who was a Leafs winger in the 40s and 50s. This is not him. If you look on the real stats page, you get nothing at all here. But the actual Watson was a pretty interesting guy. He was a good junior player, and born in Newfoundland, then moved to, I think, Winnipeg, and then eventually wound up in Toronto. And he was a good junior player, but wound up going overseas, I think in 1917. This is him. And served in the Royal Air Force, or the Royal Air Corps, I think it was at that point. Shot down 6 German planes, so he was an ace before his 20th birthday. Comes back, and obviously he was a good hockey player, and there was a lot of interest in him from the pro teams, but he wanted to go into business, so he stayed an amateur player. He never actually played in the NHL or professional hockey at all, which is why there's no real history for him there. And what he did do was in 1924, you can see he's wearing the uniform of the Toronto Granites here. The Granites represented Canada in the 1924 Olympics when we'd still send a club team over. And Watson had a pretty good Olympics. 5 games played, 37 goals, including 11. Yeah, 11 goals in one 30-0 win over Czechoslovakia. So the Olympic team will have to do without him this year because he's taken the money in this game, and he is playing pro hockey now, and had a pretty good start to his career with us. See, oh, he actually wound up on the military team at the start of his career, so that's good. 228th Battalion, and then the NHA. Then the NHA went out of business and signed with us, and yeah, pretty solid so far. And he actually went into the Hockey Hall of Fame just on the strength of his amateur career. So have to keep an eye on the Olympics. That is coming up when? January 29th.
All right, I guess maybe I was wrong.
Ah, great. The harmony is starting to go sideways on us. New click formed, although it's... Oh no, Stewart is in there. That's not good. And intervening doesn't slow it down, so hopefully that's not going to end badly for us. But we're almost at the start of the preseason here. And Nell Stewart showed up out of shape. We will criticize him internally and hopefully he gets back into shape relatively quickly. And 1-0 overtime loss to Hamilton in the first game, so they get a little revenge for their playoff loss last year. Another game against Hamilton. Put Chabot the backup in for this one. And he shuts them out. So right back at Hamilton, and we got 2 more games against Ottawa, and this isn't good. First, Stewart shows up out of shape, and now, oh great. Duke Keats fractured his shoulder blade, and he's gone for 1 to 2 months. So looks like LePan will be playing for us this year.
Well, that's gonna hurt.
Although he is up to 1.5 stars, so that's at least good news. And Malone hasn't fallen that far off, so he may be able to come in as well. Not delaying treatment of Keats. Hopefully we'll get him back before the end of the year, because remember the seasons are really compressed. And up against the Senators, and looks like Thompson's going to be their goalie this year, 5-2 win. And Harry Watson, there, just mentioned, 2nd star, and Malone playing center, so am I better to... Yeah, bump him up to the 2nd line and see if we can squeeze a little more life out of Joe Malone at the end of his career here. This is... Yeah, it's the end of the preseason, then Hamilton is their first regular season game, and now who's hurt? Claycorn, bruised ankle day to day, nothing serious. McCaffrey will come in for him. And 2-1 win over Ottawa. We're not dominating the other teams like we did last year, but still okay. Now, training camp development. This is going to be interesting. Finnegan gets up to 1.5 stars. That's good. Joliat continuing to improve. Lepin gets a couple. That's good news. Johnny Shepard as well. Siebert up to 2 stars. And Nell Stewart is a full 5 stars now. I don't think he was before. Gaudreau, the draft pick, making some big improvements. As a Gagnon too, but not quite as much. And oh, that's not good. Billy Boucher, only 24, and he's slipping. I'm going to have to prop him up in the training next year. Keep an eye on that. And Harry Watson, losing interest in hockey, apparently. He's going downhill. And Claycorn, I expect that. Him and his brother will be headed out in the next couple of years, probably. But home opener against Hamilton. Claycorn will have to still sit this one, looks like. And ouch, 6-3 loss. King Clancy with a hat trick from the blue line for Hamilton. And we outshot them 56-35, and we still lost by 3 goals. A bad game for Warders, and very good game for Clint Benedict. Okay, Claycorn is back. Let's see if we get a little more straightened out with him in the lineup. Second game against Toronto. Need a recovery here. 2-1 overtime win, although it looks like that's mainly due to George Hainsworth having a great game. So he kept the minute. Hooley Smith, the second star from Toronto, he was one of the other guys on that Toronto Granite's Olympic team. And we will see how they do in about a month. Everybody healthy.
The minor league teams in the game right now?
Well, they're really more like senior teams.
Well, I know, but yeah. I just didn't know if they were one of the affiliates.
No, they're not. And 3-1 win over Ottawa. And old man Sprague Cleghorn for a star, so seem to be recovering after that initial loss to Hamilton. Now let's see if we can get that back. 3-2 overtime win. A lot of close games, and Sprague Cleghorn again the first star. So end of December, and we are 3-1 and on top of the league again. And the Cleghorn brothers, even though they're one's 32, the other's 33, are leading us in scoring. Another pretty good development report, although Boucher down again. And yes, you can see the Cleghorns going down, and Malone is really starting to slide. And the owner looks like he's being pretty patient with us. And Toronto St. Patrick's, I think we must be getting pretty close to when they become the Leafs, right? 5-1 win over Toronto. And back-to-back against Toronto. Shepard in the lineup, I didn't realize that. Swap him out for Finnegan for a while, even he's injured, but I would like to see Finnegan in there because he's got more room to develop. And shutout 3-0 by George Hainsworth in Toronto. That's kind of ugly. And that actually drops us behind Hamilton for the league lead. And another injury. Oh, no, it's Finnegan who I just put in. You played one game, dude, and you're exhausted? Come on.
I mean, yeah.
A 4-1 win over Ottawa, and Ottawa native Aurel Joliat is the first star. Now, who's hurt? Corbeau has got a hip strain day to day. And tie 2-2 with Hamilton. And we are tied with Hamilton for the league lead. They upgraded their roster this year. Doesn't look significantly. Okay, Cooney Whalen they've got now. That's going to help them. Oh, Ace Bailey's there as well. So, yeah, they've got a really great forward lineup here. And that's going to be a really good team in a couple of years, and probably around the same time that they finally leave Hamilton and head to New York. And former Canadian Billy Coutu still hanging around the league. We're almost up on the Olympic tournament, too. Another game against Ottawa, who seems to have fallen off badly at this point. And Joe Malone still hanging in there. First star and a 4-3 win.
Better question, is George Vezina still kicking around?
I was just thinking about that. I think he retired. No, apparently not. He hasn't retired. Still playing for Vancouver, still a starter for Vancouver. So real life, he died at the, or beginning of the 25-26 season. But yeah, hanging on nicely here and having a pretty good year apparently. 37 years old and just keeps re-signing with him, so we'll never get him back. Oh, we don't even have his rights anymore. He could sign with anybody in the NHL. And looks like Finnegan is healthy again, so I'll swap him back in. Claycorn has a cramp, but he should be able to play. And Corbeau is back as well. And against Hamilton for first place. And narrow 4-3 win. I'll build on that with another game against Ottawa. And 3-1 win. Okay, we're starting to shape up now, I think. And the Claycorn brothers top 10 in scoring. Wasn't really expecting that, but I'll take it. Wondering if maybe I should... No, Malone's doing well enough. I'll leave him alone.
I guess I gotta be a part of Looney Tunes soon, right? So I gotta be a part of the Looney Tunes soon.
Who?
Claycorn.
Ah, no, different guys. 2-1 win over Toronto.
It's a joke, Jeff.
I know. Okay, Keats is finally back. The trade deadline is coming up, but again, 4 teams in the league. Not going to be a lot of room to move players. Take a look at the trading block, but I doubt there's anything. Now, Shorty Green wants to get out of Toronto, one of the guys that caused the Hamilton strike that eventually caused them to move to New York and become the Americans. But yeah, it's basically just a bunch of guys that we can't take by our house rules, and not trying to pry out somebody like Morenz or Boucher is going to be more expensive than we can afford. So I think I'll probably just roll through the trade deadline and then probably start looking to do something with those goalies in the next year or two. And come to think of it, I should be looking at the contracts for next year as well. 4-1 win over Hamilton, so should be firmly in first place now. Yep, by 6 points. And who are our upcoming free agents? Boucher, obviously going to re-sign him.
I guess I'm trying to think. In real life, Ottawa wasn't down yet, but they weren't.
They were,
I guess they
starting
were
to slip.
starting their, yeah, they're starting their decline at this point in real life.
And our guys aren't asking for unreasonable amounts to re-sign, so I can do all of these easily enough. Milks is declining at 24, so I'm not going to keep him around. Oh, Shepard has improved a little more than I expected. So
You're gonna let go of Hib,
gonna let go of Hib.
but the Hib hops.
And let's see, does McCaffrey want more than 1 year? McCaffrey wants 3 years. I'm going to wait on that a little bit. He's just spare at this point. And Lacroix, I want to get rid of that contract.
Wait. Is there anybody in the league at this time with the first name Ernie? Because I feel like we should have a Bert and Ernie defensive pairing.
Ernie Parks in Toronto, but he's a forward. Or
convert him.
Yep. Nope, he's right wing. That can't play defense at all, so not going to work.
All right, I'm trying to think of this. Anyways, so goaltenders. I'm thinking Ernie Wakely. Is there a Bert goaltender?
Ernie Wakely, who will be bored in another 40 or so years.
No.
But all time, Bert Lindsay, Ted Lindsay's father or grandfather.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. First off, 40 years. You're gonna say Ernie Wakely was born in 1960 something?
Okay, no, Wakely would have been born.
Want to revise that information?
40s or 50s.
Well, considering he played for the Jets in the 70s.
In 6-3 win over Toronto.
1940 he was born.
Okay. And just going to blow through the trading deadline. No moves. And Roy Waters is the goalie of the month.
As he should be.
Couture keeps developing pretty rapidly. It's interesting. Keep an eye on that. And Bert Corbeau is slipping fast. He's down to two stars now. So knowing that, I am going to re-sign McCaffrey. And the Olympics. And Canada off to a 2-0 start. Looks like the British beat the Americans.
Sorry, did you look at Team Canada, or you just
No, didn't look
who's
it
on
up.
it?
It's going to be basically a mixture of unsigned guys. Cy Wentworth, I recognize that name. Marty Walsh.
Didn't say Wentworth, Hockey Hall of Famer?
No,
No?
no, pretty good career, long career, but not in the Hall. Definitely not a Hall of Famer. So they got a few decent. I mean, it doesn't look like a good team, but if you compare them to everybody else in the tournament, I mean, the Czech team's got 1 goal, 4 and 16 against at this point. Well, they do have one decent player, but everything else is half star. The U.S. and the U.K. might have. No, that's still not very impressive. The Brits might have some Canadians playing for them. No, it doesn't look like it. So Canada should win that relatively easily. I'll check that in a week or so.
Was this the year the Brits actually upset and won?
No, that was 36.
36.
36, yeah. With mostly Canadian lineup. And the click grew, but I trimmed it back a little, so no change there. And 4-2 win over Ottawa. And play forward a little bit.
Okay, I had to go look up. Cy Wentworth, yeah, played 575 games in the NHL with 107 points.
Okay, into the final round. It's going to be France, Great Britain, Canada, and Switzerland. The Americans, who actually played Team Canada in the final here and were one of the more better teams in the tournament, didn't make the final this time. So this should be a walkover for Canada, really. Yeah, we lost to Ottawa there. And Canada wins the Olympic Games. And there we go, Cy Wentworth, best defenseman. So, yeah, Canada perfect through the whole tournament, 6-0. 33 goals, 4 or 5 against, and in the medal round, they weren't even scored on. Actually, no, it looks like that's... Oh, something's wrong with that medal round goals against total. We'll have to fix that. They're all showing up as 0. Actual scores, 9-1 over Switzerland, 6-2 over France, and 3-1 over Great Britain.
Hey, Jeff, that's not the Canadian flag.
It is right now. John Diefenbaker had his way, it still would be.
Was the flag through 65, if memory serves?
Yep. And 3-1 over Hamilton, but it looks like Finnegan's hurt, bruised knee for 1 to 2 weeks, so Shepard can take a turn in the lineup. And Julia has an infected blister, you can just play through that. Oh, and Keats is finally healthy, so I can bring him back. And we're in first place even without having one of our best players in the lineup. Oh, Lepan, well, in Keats' absence, has gone up to 2.5 stars.
Good.
I want to keep him in the lineup. Let's see what that does if I juggle the lines around now. Put Lepan in the third line. And yeah, I like that balance on the first two lines. Watson, oh no, I want Julian Watson switch because don't want two screeners in that first line. And Joliet has an unspecified illness. Oh, that's the infected blister. Three 1 win over Toronto, and we put up 57 shots on poor George Ainsworth. Let's see if they can do a little better defensively in this game. Nope, 4-1 win, and only 44 shots this time. Took it easy on them. Just going to go a little longer here because we're almost at the end of this season.
Seems reasonable.
But we got an, oh, jeez. It's Keats. You just got back and you're out already? Play Finnegan in for one game. And we still steal a 1-0 win over Ottawa. Back-to-back games. And 3-1 win. Oh, and Chabot's only the backup. That's right. So Keats is healthy again. Which is good because the guy replacing him, Finnegan, just came down with bronchitis. And Chabot is out for 1 to 2 weeks, and I don't have a lot of flexibility on the roster here because we're at our maximum 17 players, so I'm going to have to put Chabot on the injured list. Fortunately, we got Alec Connell as the number 3 guy, and he's already up 2.5 stars, so no problem at all if he has to go in for a game. For 1 win over Hamilton, I think we're way out in front of the league right now, aren't we? Yeah, 37 points. Next closest team has 21. And I was going to say, so let's try and not get anybody injured for the rest of the season, but of course, upon saying that, we immediately get 2 injuries or 1 injury and a suspension. So we're going to have to hide Finnegan on the injured list. Corbeau is gone for 2 games, so is that the remainder of the regular season? I hope that's not going to miss a playoff game. Caffrey has to go in, and Watson goes out for Shepherd. And nobody worthwhile signing, looks like, on the scouting report. Hamilton, a 0 game, 4-3 win. And Good Harmony is almost back to normal. Almost got rid of that click, and the other conflicts are going away, so that's good news. But of course, now Sievert gets hurt. Allergic reaction. Not a good time for that to be happening, so I'm going to have to call up Dump Monroe. And what do I do here?
You shouldn't have switched the soap on the equipment. That's what caused the allergic reaction.
Yeah. Monroe, actually, another guy who was on that Toronto Granite's Olympic team. Going to have to put Watson on the injured list for a couple of weeks. And I don't want to get Warders hurt, so I'll again play the backup in the last game of the season. Be Connell this time. And 2-2 tie. Good enough. Doesn't really matter.
I was going to say, watch him get hurt on the bench.
And actually, Chabot is almost ready to come back, so that's good. And Finnegan is recovering too. Okay, so we got Chabot is ready to come back, so you can go on to the active roster. Watson and Finnegan have a couple of days left, but I think they'll be back. They'll be ready to go before the Hamilton series starts. We've gone along the roster for now. It's playoffs. Corbeau is ready. That's good. And Finnegan is healthy, even better. And Hamilton Watson just needs one more day, so he can come back as well. Okay, not quite perfectly healthy, but oops.
Pretty close.
Yeah, I don't really have to. Joe Malone is nauseous.
Also, I'm just going to point out I really kind of miss the alliterative names of the old NHL.
Such as?
No, like Frank Finnegan.
Yeah, definitely a good name.
Or Billy Boucher, right?
Or Buck Boucher.
Buck Boucher. Buck Boucher.
Makes you wonder why they didn't give Frank a nickname that started with B. Bubba Boucher. Okay, I think we're going to have to go with this lineup against Hamilton. I just want to take a quick look at what Hamilton's got. They were... Oh, wow, we're the only team above... Yeah, I think we kind of dominated the league this year, eh?
Just a little bit.
19-3-2.
Although if you blow this now, it's going to be really funny.
And, King Clancy's a little banged up for them, so that helps. They do have a lot of scoring. I mean, that's the one thing where it could go a little
The good
wrong.
news is their goalie isn't super hot. That's probably where you're best at.
And 5-1 win to start the series, which I assume is still 2 games total goals. Yes, it is. So TG marker down there. Anybody hurt? Siebert has still got his allergy. Malone's still nauseous, but he can play. And Watson's back still bothering him, but nothing that's going to keep people out of the lineup. And we're up by 4 goals, so it will be hard to blow this.
Famous last words.
And 7-2 win. Not even close. Now, wait and see what we get from the West here. A quick breaks up and a new one immediately forms. Try to get rid of this one now. Oh no, Boucher's part of it, so that's not going to work. We'll have to get rid of the player conflicts instead and hope that goes away on its own.
Or you let the entire team get taken over.
Come close to that a couple of times. Okay, 2024 Stanley Cup. It is Victoria again, so they're back for another shot at us. How'd they do this year? Oh, they actually finished second to Seattle, but looks like they beat them in the playoffs. Yeah, 9-5 win over Seattle, and then the championship against the Alberta side, 2-0. Yeah, no, 2 games. They swept the 3-game series in 2. And this looks like much the same roster, although their D is a little bit better. Ed Gorman, they had him last year. He's just gotten better. Harry Mummery, oh yeah, he was a pretty good player, but he's very old now. But yeah, the rest of this is kind of ridiculous. Nyber, Denny, Broadbent, Cook, Barney Stanley's there. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of Hall of Famers on this team, so they did give us a bit of a scare this last time, so let's make sure the lineup is okay. Siebert is healthy again. His allergy apparently haven't gone away. And can Finnegan go in, or... No, I want to leave it like that. Yeah, Malone and LePan on the third line. So game 1 against Victoria. I think this is best of 3 again. 6-2 win for us. And yep, best of 3, so we can end it here with one more win against them. And it's close, 4-3, but we take it. 2 cups in a row. So, Adam, have you ever won 2 cups in one stream?
No, but I don't typically. We
But
don't.
what?
How many times have we got through a year? I mean, you're playing like 10 games.
And any free agents I need to deal with? No, I want Laquan Miller and Milks both need to go. I'm just going to go and get around and do the draft for this year. And we should have a new team in the league come July 1st. Let's see if we can work out this situation a little in the off season. Harmony is getting better, and the click is broken up. And that conflict between Odie Cleghorn and Le Pen is almost down. Our contract was extended. And 68 beat last season's score by 1 point. And I'm going to wind up maxing this out at 20 on everything by the time we're done with this. And last day of the season, nothing to do. But we're about to see a strange new change in the NHL this year. What is this? A team in America?
America?
Letting them play now? And a second team in Montreal.
Well, okay, yes. Yeah, yes. Second team in Montreal. Third team overall in Quebec. Although the one's been gone for a few years now.
Well, fourth team, because the Wanderers were there too.
Oh, that's true, yes.
So they're going to have to start completely from scratch. So they got no players at all, and we'll have to sign players as free agents. So they're going to be terrible for the first few years.
Okay, before you go further, did you check free agents?
I did not, and thank you for reminding me. And there ain't nothing. Danny Cox, who's
Danny boy.
And never played for the Canadiens, so not somebody
Hopefully
we can
Boston
sign.
signs him.
But yeah, this is going to be, looking at these guys, that's what we're going to see on the Boston and Maroons rosters this season. So let's just go through the draft. They'll be drafting first, I think. Yeah, Maroons draft first, then Boston. And Joe Primo to Montreal. Probably Art Chapman to Boston. No, Leroy Goldsworthy, who I think was actually a Boston Bruin. Briefly at the end of his career. Well, for a couple of seasons at the end of his career. So I get him. Chapman to Toronto. So Toronto continues to get better. And who are we looking at? Dave Trottier. Montreal Maroon, born in Pembroke, Ontario. So I don't think he quite qualifies for our...
Well, he does, but he's probably somebody else we can find.
Trottier's a French-Canadian name, so borderline.
Well, he played for Montreal.
And he played Montreal, yeah. Wilder La Rochelle, definitely eligible for us, but just looking, I would kind of like to have a defenseman, but there's just none here.
Sounds like a second-round pick.
Yeah, going to go with Trottier for the first-round pick.
Oh, you're cheating already?
No,
wow.
Between playing for the Maroons and having a more or less French name, close enough. And, okay, Ken Durati, I recognize that name. Decent player, but probably not.
Lamb there.
For us, Joe Lamb. I think he was a Canadian. Yeah, for 7 games.
He was a Canadian. Yeah. Not very long, but Canadian nonetheless. And
But
played for the Maroons since
I
apparently
wanted defenseman.
nothing matters anymore.
Ted Graham doesn't quite qualify.
Played for the Maroons.
Yeah.
If you're just using whatever you want.
Not going to have to go with Joe Lamb, I think. But we are going to need to find a defenseman somewhere, I think.
Check that star.
Oh, Harold Starr. Yeah, I think he might have. Yeah, was Canadian for 15 games. That will do. And anybody on the 1-star list that's left? Milt Halliday.
Mitt Halliday is a great name.
This way and just scroll through the draft list looking for somebody who's played for.
You might be better looking to see where they were born.
Yeah,
See if
good
it
point.
connects.
I don't think we're going to get a hit though.
I like the center defenseman.
The center defenseman. Where'd you see that?
I don't know. There was one of the guys. He was near the top.
Don't see him.
Not right at the top. What he? Well, you're just looking at positions. So he was a center and a defenseman there when he had his name. I want to say not the first set, second. A little bit low. He's 1-star or something.
I think you're seeing things. Oh no, there we
did
go.
not see him.
Elmer
Yeah.
Piper. That's a great name. Elmer Piper.
Absolutely, that's a great name. Where's he from?
Oh, who cares? We'll take video. Hit in Alberta. We're never actually going to sign him, but I just want to draft
Okay,
Elmer
just sign
Piper.
him on the name no matter what. Yeah, that's fine. I like it. Elmer Piper. Yeah. Don't tell me I'm seeing things. I know what I saw. All right, with
Okay.
that, should I
Yeah,
wrap up?
Quick wrap up. I'm going to advance it just so you maybe get a look at what the Bruins and the Maroons rosters are looking like towards the beginning of the year, but go ahead and start wrapping it up.
All right, with that, thank you very much for tuning in to another Franchise Hockey Manager stream. We typically stream every Wednesday night at 10 p.m. Eastern on twitch.tv/franchise hockey manager, as well as twitch.tv/OOTP developments. And sometimes when it works on our Steam page. You can find all of our videos archived on our YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/OOTP developments, with streams getting archived on Saturdays going live at about 3 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for our European viewers. You can also reach out to us on our Facebook page, which is facebook.com/franchise hockey manager. On Twitter, we're at franchise hockey. Find a link to our official Discord in our Twitter bio or on the front of the game on the main page. And of course, you can come down to our official website, which is ootpdevelopments.com. Click on the community button in the top right-hand corner, which will bring you to the official forums and come talk about Franchise Hockey Manager, Out of the Park Baseball, Perfect Team Go, or anything else you wish to discuss. Jeff?
And it looks
looking like a pretty weak Bruins team so far.
Actually, well, no, they got to fill out the lineup, but they've been raiding the Western League. They got Red Dutton, Jack Adams, Ken Randall, a bunch of guys. Did Seattle fold?
No, they probably would.
And the Maroons, no, basically building around their top pick, Tremo. Yeah, Seattle went out of business, so that's probably could have grabbed a player there if we'd been paying attention. Missed that. But yeah, that's so.
It's fine. You're giving the other teams a chance.
Bruins will not be too bad, although. Have I got any plausible reason to sign Red Dutton? Played for the Maroons, but not for the Canadiens. See, I could offer a goalie for him. But no, it's a little too far. But yeah, I guess we'll wind up there and we'll see how the Bruins and Maroons do in their first NHL season.
Yeah, you could probably package up somebody who we don't care about in a second-round pick for a first-round pick from them right now.
That would be an idea.
But maybe we'll save that for next year.
Yeah. Remember that for the start of next one. We'll do that then.
All right. So thank you very much. We'll be back again next week with our Pittsburgh Penguins game, seeing if we're going to get fired, which we haven't yet, but you never know. Could be coming.
Definitely won't be winning 2 cups in one street. No, I can tell you that.
No.
Okay. Thanks, everybody. And we will see you a week from now.